So thinking of playing Secession, Battle of Stones River, 1862, published in Invictus, Magazine of Historical Games, issue number 121. So from Shelby Foote, the Civil War narrative for the second volume, Fredericksburg to Meridian. McCown went forward in the steely twilight before sunrise. Claiborne followed 400 yards behind. Between them they had 10,000 men, and McCook had 16,000, but the latter were still preparing breakfast when the rebel skirmishers, preceding a long gray double line of infantry extending left and right, shoulder to shoulder as far as the eye could reach, broke through the cedar thickets and bore down on them, yelling. Coming as it did, with all the advantage of surprise, the charge was well nigh irresistible. A Tennessee private later recalled that his brigade, in the front rank of the attackers, swooped down on those Yankees like a whirl-a-gust of woodpeckers in a hailstorm, quote, unquote. The fact was, in this opening phase, everything went so smoothly for the aggressors that even their mistakes seemed to work to their advantage. When McCown, who had little combat experience, having been left behind in command of Knoxville during the invasion of Kentucky, drifted wide because he neglected to oblique to the right as instructed, Pat Claiborne, whose soldierly qualities had grown steadily since Shiloh, despite the wounds he had taken at Richmond and Perryville, moved neatly forward into the gap without even the need to pause for alignment. Advancing on this extended front, the two divisions swept everything before them, their captures including several frontline batteries taken before the cannoneers could leap to their posts and get a round off. Such knots of bluecoats as managed to form for individual resistance in clumps of cedar or behind outcroppings of rock, finding themselves suddenly outflanked on the left or right, cried as they had cried under Buell 12 weeks before, "We are sold again," and broke for the rear, discarding their weapons as they ran. Okay, first, before I pick up the Union action segment, I guess. Is that correct? Yeah, actually, yeah. Okay. I need to correct myself. The closest observer will have noticed that I talked about the weather, and then I talked about the need to remember the scenario rules, and then I completely disregarded. Anyways, weather. It is whatever. It's misty and foggy or something like that. I'm not even going to look it up. That possibility does not change until turn 2. We're still in turn 1. In other words, the weather is bad. And that means the movement movement potential is -2. And I moved, for the Confederate side, I moved these two stacks, a full 6 movement points, or a full 6 movement potential. Should have been 4. So I need to back these guys up. So let me put that guy back to the original area. Here's the first 2 units moving, so they go 1, 2, 3 across the ford, 4 into the along the road is what I mean. So that's 4. So they are there. They can't continue on the road here because of the weather, and so because I'm trying to break up the stack, these guys are just going to go 2 and stay like that. Obviously not gonna. Well, they can't now. You can't overstack now. So I was unstacking, yeah, and I should. It's not 6 movement potential. It's 4 right now because of weather effects, and I guess that goes for everybody. That's the only thing I thought of to correct. So now we'll pick up with the Union action. Okay, so it's the Union action phase. Basically, I want to try with, see, that's interesting. 1, 2, something seems odd here, but I don't know that it's a game stopper, but I'm going to watch this. So So I'm going to try Crittenden again. One of the reasons is, one, is that I want to spread his forces out. Okay, so this is more for learning the game than tactics, really. But okay, so Crichton is trying again. So it's -1 for his modifier there, +1 for the Union side. That's per the scenario. That's even. -1 again for the Union side having the maneuver tactical option determined at the start of the game. Remember, both sides rolled randomly and got the maneuver tactical option. So it's a net -1. And again, I'm rolling on the activation table here to see how many divisions Crittenden can activate. So, yeah. So it's -1. Roll the, oh, man. Okay, 1. Okay, 2 -1 is 1, which is 1 division. Okay, so 1 division. By the way, I guess Crittenden just stays on his back side as a reverse side here. Okay, so now I guess I choose a division. Well, let's see. The active player designates a corps commander. I just did that, Crittenden. I rolled. Now, the active player then selects his divisions one by one from those of the designated CC. So I guess we'll just start with the lead division here. Oh yeah, I forgot. I was going to make my own order of battle displays for the side as player aids so that I could pay attention to all this organization. But it's was it the light green? Yeah, light green. I talked about this before. Of course, I already forgot the name, but light green is Claiborne. Yeah, Claiborne. It's interesting because we heard Claiborne in Shelby Foot there. All right, so here's Claiborne's division. They are overstacked, by the way. They're all overstacked here. And it does mention overstacking, but it mentions it for the scenarios. Some brigades may begin overstacked the first time they are activated. Well, this is the first time they're being active. This is the first time Claiborne's division is being activated. They must act to respect stacking rules, which is 2 brigades per area. So not only am I acting with Claiborne, I'm going to be moving here, but I'm also unstacking. I wonder if I can get an attack in, which of course, doesn't make any tactical sense. But no, that doesn't. That's too far outside the normal. So I don't know that we have really good tactical options here, but yeah, I know what. So Hazen moves. What is that? 2, I think, for the clear area, and orients that way, and then we go. These 2 brigades of the division are going to go. Oh wait. I need to pay attention to that leader. Where do I want the lead? See, that one has the gold star on it. Do need to remember to pay attention to that. So actually I want Hazen here. And then I will also pay attention to the combat, I think it's called combat potential or whatever, but this is 6. So I'll put, but the artillery is 2. They call it combat potential and artillery potential. Then I see a reason. Oh well, I'll leave 6 infantry combat potential over here with just 2 artillery. Put Hazen here with his other brigade there. All right, facing down the road there. Okay, now what? Yeah, now what for the action? I guess it's nothing, but I'll double check. So they certainly didn't get near their movement potential of 4 right now. I think that's it. Okay, so that is Crichton, so I guess he stays there. I I guess it goes to the Confederate. I'll double check, but if I'm moving on, then we'll go to the Confederate action. So this is the turn one. I have it on the Union side to tell me that the Union is the first player. So this is the Union action phase of these. Wait, this is the Union part, I guess, of the second action phase of this turn. Okay. Okay, so now it's the Confederate, player 2. I should say player 2 because these could be different. But Confederate in this case. So what's going on here is here's Bragg, Army Commander. Here's Hardee, the Corps Commander. I want this division over here. Again, Confederate yellow. Oh, I messed that up. Yeah. All you dedicated all you dedicated American Civil War aficionados probably caught it. Did I call him Claiborne? That was I think I did, and that's very wrong. That is Palmer. That's Palmer's division. This is Claiborne's division. But I think I called that Claiborne. Obviously, that's not Claiborne. But obviously, it's not Claiborne because Claiborne's obviously Southern. But I do think that's Palmer. Yeah, so I definitely want to make my own order of battle display. Okay. So in this case, the yellow division over here is Negley. So Negley, I did it again. Negley's Union. Wow. McCown. This is McCown over here. Okay, McCown, and we heard McCown and Claiborne in the piece from Shelby Foote. Yikes. Okay, Negley. McCown. I cannot get this straight today. All right. Anyways, so McCown, way over here. So I want to figure out. Let's see. Hardee is his core. This is this right here. I'm not going to move the camera right off the screen here. Right here is Hardee. Hardee is the Corps Commander for McCown over here. So I think I can choose Hardee. It's going to be -1 for the maneuver. Yeah, -1 for the maneuver tactical option. There we go. Roll a 6, -1 is 5. That is 2 divisions. So 2 divisions. Now we could move Claiborne again. Actually, we will move Claiborne. We're going to move Claiborne, and I'm going to attack. No, that's not a good attack. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move up, and I'm going to fill this area right here adjacent to the Union. Then I'll figure out, is combat mandatory? So I'm going to move. I'm going to move Claiborne. As a matter of fact, I can do in the order I want, as long as one division is completed before another. So they will move. So they're going to move. They're going to move 1 along the road. Now let's see what happens when we move adjacent to the enemy. Okay, so there is an extra movement point, but that's for entering the front of an artillery brigade. So far, there's only one artillery brigade on the entire battlefield, and that's that one right there. So they can move here. They are in the ZOC of the Union brigades there. The only point of that is that they have to stop. They could, by the way, attack, because they went here. They went 1, 2 along the road. They have 4 because of the weather. They can pay 2 to attack, but I'm just not going to attack yet. So there's that, and then these units are crossing the ford along the road. 1, 2, 3. Like that. All right. So that's that now. As for... Okay, back to McCown. Out here on the far left flank. So it is a command test. So the rule is a division, McCown's, designated by the Corps Commander, Hardee, must have at least one of its non-isolated brigades. Well, all 3 brigades are here, so must have at least one non-isolated brigade within the command range of the CC, Corps Commander, or successfully pass a command test for the comprising brigades of McCown's division, in this case, to take action. So what is out of command range? I think it's basically 8... I shouldn't phrase it that way. If I remember correctly, it's 8 movement points. So I think real quickly, although we're nowhere near, right? I think it's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the command range from Hardee only gets this far, not even close for McCown out there. So I think they have to do a command test. There's -1, so 1 to 3 is good. The division's going to activate. 4 to 6, it does not activate, so 50-50 chance base. -1 for cavalry division. McCown is definitely not a cavalry division. And -1 if a non-isolated brigade of the division is in contact with an enemy brigade. How does that work? A non-isolated... Okay, isolated or non-isolated is internal, not higher up. I think isolated, non-isolated is here. Yeah, isolated or not isolated has to do with the internal the organization of the division itself, not to a higher echelon. Okay, so it's 50-50 chance. Oh, they roll a 1. So they successfully activate. So I can act with McCown here. They're overstacked because you have 3 brigades here. They have 2 less movement points because of the weather, so they have 4. There is forced marching, but I'm not going to look at that yet. So it really is the question of where do I want to go? So I guess we're going to go 1 along the road, 2 along the road, and then maybe 3, 4. Yeah. We'll do that. Oh yeah, where's the... Oh, isn't that interesting? There's no starred leader in that entire division. Makes you wonder why McCown was sent out there. They're weaker too. Oh wait, no, they are weaker. They're weaker and they have no starred brigades out there. That's interesting. Huh. All right. Lead with those 2, and we'll put him there. Okay. I think that's going to be the end of the Confederate action. I don't know what they call it. Step here.